A History of Southern Missouri and Northern Arkansas, published in 1907 by William Monks. Missouri and the Civil War. Abraham Lincoln was elected President of the United States. Soon after the election, they began to discuss the question of seceding from the government. The author again took the field in opposition to secession and delivered a number of speeches. In a short time, the people that had been the closest of friends and trusted a neighbor with the most sacred thing they possessed became bitter enemies and arrayed themselves against one another, and as the discussion of the great question of war continued to grow more bitter, the people appeared to align themselves for and against secession. The people soon grew so bitter that they often talked of fighting each other. Before the firing on Fort Sumter, and after several of the states had actually seceded, the Union sentiment prevailed so strongly in the state of Missouri that Claiborne Jackson, the then acting governor, was compelled to order an election in the state of Missouri to settle the matter by a vote of the people as to whether Missouri should secede or remain in the Union. The author then took the stump and advocated that the state remain in the Union and manifest her loyalty to the preservation of the Union. In this campaign, the feeling of the war grew more bitter. The result, however, of the election was that the state remained in the Union. In the meantime, Fort Sumter had been fired upon by the rebels. Claib Jackson, the governor, appeared to be determined upon the state seceding either by fair or foul means. Without regarding the majority vote of the people of the state, Claib Jackson, the then acting governor, issued his proclamation convening the legislature in extra session for the purpose of passing ordinances of secession. At that time, General Frost was in the command of the militia and some state troops stationed in St. Louis barracks, but he was in heart and sympathy a rebel. Everything appeared to have been greased and prepared for the occasion. As the governor had the whole machinery of the state completely under his control, he believed that it would be an easy matter for the legislature to pass ordinances of secession and carry the state out of the Union. But the government authorities at Washington learned of the critical condition and deep-laid scheme of the governor to carry the state out of the Union, and at once ordered Captain Lyons of the regular army, who afterward became general of the volunteer forces and fought the battle at Wilson Creek, Missouri, to come to St. Louis. He, being a captain of the regular army, outranked General Frost, took possession of the troops, arms, and ammunition, etc., reorganized, and rapidly increased the army by volunteers. On information reaching General Lyons that the legislature had been convened in extra session, he at once took his available troops and left St. Louis with the intention of surrounding the capital and taking the members of both houses, the governor, with all the state officers prisoners. When the governor learned that the government troops were en route for Jefferson City and their purpose, he ordered the bridge to be burnt across the Gasconade River near its mouth, on what was then known as the North Pacific Railroad. This delayed the troops for several hours. On their approach to Jefferson City, the governor and state officers and the members of both houses of the legislature and all the troops that had been ordered to the capital by the governor retreated to Boonville, Missouri. I heard our representative in a speech delivered a short time afterwards say they came so near getting him while he was getting out of Jefferson City that he lost his umbrella. Lyons pursued them, and at Boonville they made a stand, and on Lyons' arrival with his troops he attacked them, and they fought for a short time. They again retreated, went into the extreme west part of the state to a place known as Lone Jack. There they made a stand again, Lyon still pursuing. He again attacked them at Lone Jack, and after a short fight they retreated again into the state of Arkansas. And there Governor Jackson convened the legislature, and they passed ordinances of secession, declaring the state of Missouri out of the Union, and that she was attached to the compact forming the Confederate States. General Lyon returned to St. Louis, increasing his force considerably, several regiments being attached to his command from other states. The government ordered him to prepare his troops and move west to Springfield. The terminus of the South Missouri Pacific Railroad at that time was at Rolla, Missouri. While Lyon was massing his troops and preparing to march to Springfield, the most intense excitement prevailed in the entire state of Missouri.